Our whirlwind love story began with a kiss meant to shield her pain. But what started as protection turned into something raw and real. Emma believed our marriage was fake. I believed it was destiny. But secrets always rise, and now, the truth I kept hidden is about to shatter everything. I will finally tell Emma everything. My wealth, my past, my obsession, my love, and the one thing I always feared most, losing her. Hit the subscribe button if you believe in love and romance. I stood in Emma's cramped studio apartment, the air thick with her hurt. The photo she clutched, a snapshot of us from years ago, me soaked in rain, her smiling, had unraveled everything. My heart pounded as her green eyes, brimming with tears, bored into me. I'd planned to tell her about my wealth, my obsession, but not like this, not with her shaking from betrayal. "Liam, what is this?" Emma's voice trembled, the photo quivering in her hand. "This is you and me, from years ago." I swallowed hard, the memory flooding back. Her, barely 18, giving me directions in a downpour, her kindness a spark that lit a fire in me. I was nobody then, scraping by, but she'd stayed with me, a quiet obsession growing until I found her again at that engagement party. The kiss, the fake marriage, it was all to claim her, but love had twisted my plans. "Emma, I can explain." "Explain?" she snapped, tears spilling. "You've known me for years. You planned everything, the kiss, the engagement. It was all a lie." "Not a lie," I said, stepping closer, my voice raw. "I saw you in that rain, and you changed me. When I saw you at that party, humiliated, I couldn't let you go. The marriage was never fake to me. I wanted you forever." Her face crumpled and she backed away. "You manipulated me, Liam. You made me think it was fate, but it was you pulling strings. How am I supposed to trust you?" I knelt before her, desperation clawing at me. "I planned to find you, yes, but I never planned to love you like this. You're my world, Emma. I can't lose you." She stood, shaking, her voice barely a whisper. "I need to think. I can't do this." She grabbed her coat and stormed out, leaving me on my knees, the photo slipping from my hand. Her first kiss had been mine, but my lies had shattered her trust, and I wasn't sure I could fix it. The days after were hell. Emma's absence was a void, her phone silent, her apartment empty when I knocked. My penthouse, once alive with her laughter, felt like a cage. I'd built an empire, Liam Hart, tech billionaire, untouchable, but without her, it was nothing. Threats from my past, texts warning she's next, Hart haunted me. A rival I'd crushed years ago was circling, and Emma was their target because of me. I tightened security, but my focus was her. I found her at our cafe, her eyes red but steady, clutching a coffee. "Emma," I said, sitting across from her, my heart in my throat. "Please, hear me out." "You lied," she said, her voice cold. "You watched me, planned my life like a game. Was any of it real?" "Every moment," I said, my voice cracking. "You saw me in that rain, not my future, not my name, just me. I waited years, and when I kissed you, it wasn't a plan. It was need. I love you, Emma. Not the idea of you. I'm nothing without you." She wiped a tear, her voice softening. "I love you too, Liam, but I'm scared. You built this fantasy and I don't know where I fit." "You fit here," I said, touching my chest. "I'll prove it, if you'll let me." She stood, her eyes torn. "I need time. Don't follow me." She walked out, leaving me shattered but clinging to her words. "I love you too." As I sat there, another text hit. "Time's up, Hart. My past was closing in, and I'd risk everything to keep her safe. But first, I had to win her back, not as a billionaire, but as the man she'd made whole." Emma tried to rebuild, returning to her old job at an art gallery, her life small again. But the world wouldn't let her forget. Paparazzi swarmed, cameras flashing as headlines screamed, "From first kiss to billionaire bride." Social media churned with speculation, some calling her a gold digger, others a fairy tale heroine. She kept her head down, her green eyes guarded, but I saw the toll it took, her smile gone, her hands trembling as she sorted canvases. I went dark, refusing media statements, my absence fueling rumors. No one had seen me in weeks, my empire running on autopilot as I wrestled with how to fix this. I sent her gifts, anonymously now, art supplies, a sketchbook with a note. "You're enough." I watched from afar, my obsession tempered by love, giving her the space she'd demanded. But every day without her was a knife, and the threats, "She's not safe, heart," kept coming, my rival's shadow growing. One night, Emma stood outside my penthouse, the emerald necklace I'd given her glinting under the city lights. My breath caught, hope and fear colliding. "Why are you here?" I asked, my voice raw. She stepped closer, her voice steady. "I was angry, Liam. You planned everything, watched me for years. But I've thought about it, every moment, every touch. You protected me, loved me, even when it scared me. You were my first kiss. And I want to be your last everything." Her words broke me. I pulled her into my arms, kissing her deeply, her lips my home. "I don't deserve you," I murmured, my forehead against hers. "But I'll prove I do." She smiled, tears shining. "You already have. I love you, Liam, not the billionaire, just you." We renewed our vows that weekend, not for cameras, but for us. In a quiet garden, under stars, her in a simple white dress, me stripped of armor, we stood hand in hand. "I vow to love you openly," I said, "to be your partner, not your keeper." "I vow to trust you," she replied, her eyes locked on mine, "to be your home." We kissed, sealing a love forged in truth. My rival's threat lingered. I'd face it soon, risking my empire to keep her safe. But for now, Emma was mine, my equal, my heart. As we danced under moonlight, her laughter soft, I knew the danger wasn't over. Secrets, deals, betrayals might still test us. But with her hand in mine, I was ready to fight, not just for her safety, but for the forever she'd promised. Emma's laughter under the moonlight, her hand warm in mine, felt like a lifeline. Our renewed vows, spoken in that quiet garden, had sealed a love I'd fought for with every piece of me. But as we danced, her white dress swaying, the weight of my past pressed heavier. The texts, "Time's up, heart," weren't just threats. They were a promise from a rival I'd crushed, a man whose life I'd dismantled in my ruthless climb to billions. Emma was my heart, but she was also my weakness, and I knew the danger was closer than she realized. I held her tighter, vowing to face whatever came, but the secrets I still carried, deals, betrayals, could unravel everything if they surfaced. The next morning, Emma woke in my penthouse, her green eyes soft but searching. "Liam," she said, tracing my jaw, "you're still holding something back, I feel it." I kissed her palm, my chest tight. "I'm trying, Emma. I've given you all I am." But I hadn't, not fully. The truth about my enemies, the blood on my hands from building my empire, stayed locked away. I wanted to protect her, not scare her. She smiled, trusting, and I swore I'd tell her soon, after I neutralized the threat. That afternoon, Emma went to her gallery job, and I met with my security team, tracking my rival's moves. But trouble found her first. When I arrived at her apartment that evening, her face was pale, a letter trembling in her hands. "Someone came to see me," she said, her voice unsteady. "Your sister, Liam. Clara." My blood ran cold. Clara, estranged for a decade, blamed me for our family's collapse, our parents' deaths, her spiral into addiction. I'd cut her off to protect my sanity, my empire. "What did she say?" I asked, my voice low. Emma handed me the letter, her eyes searching mine. "She said you're broken, Liam. That you push everyone away because you're scared of being abandoned. She told me about your childhood, how you were alone, how you buried yourself in work to escape. Is it true? I sank onto her couch, the letter unopened in my hand. Clara's words, even unspoken, cut deep. It's true, I said, my voice rough. My parents were gone by the time I was 12. Clara was all I had, but she fell apart and I couldn't save her. I built my world, code, deals, power, so I'd never need anyone again. Until you. Emma knelt beside me, her hand on mine. Why didn't you tell me? I thought you planned everything because you wanted control, but you were just scared of losing me. I met her gaze, raw and exposed. I didn't know how to ask for love, Emma. When I saw you in that rain, years ago, you were the first person who saw me. I watched you, waited, because I was terrified you'd leave if I got too close. The kiss, the marriage, it was me trying to hold on to you. She touched my face, tears in her eyes. You don't have to hold so tight. I'm here, Liam, but you can't keep secrets. Not anymore. I nodded, pulling her close, but the letter burned in my hand. Clara's visit wasn't just a warning. It was a crack in the wall I'd built. Later, alone, I read it. You can't hide from the past, Liam. She'll see who you really are. Clara knew about my rival, the deals I'd made, things I hadn't told Emma. My sister wasn't just exposing my pain, she was dangling my sins, and I feared what came next. Emma's resolve softened over the next days. She read old emails I'd kept, fragments of my past, messages to Clara begging her to get clean, notes to myself about surviving alone. One night, she found a sketch I'd drawn of her from memory, years before we met, her smile captured in pencil. You loved me even then, she whispered, her voice thick. I never stopped, I said, kissing her softly. You reminded me what feeling was. But my rival's shadow grew. A break-in at Emma's gallery, nothing stolen, just her sketches scattered, felt like a message. I doubled her security, but she sensed my tension. Liam, what's happening? She asked, her eyes sharp. Is it Clara? Not just her, I admitted, my jaw tight. Someone from my past wants to hurt me, through you. I'm handling it. Her face hardened. No more handling it alone. We're in this together. I wanted to argue, to shield her, but her strength stopped me. Together, I promised, though fear gnawed at me. Clara's betrayal, my rival's vendetta, they were ghosts I couldn't outrun, and Emma was caught in their crossfire. Weeks passed, and I vanished from public view, my empire on autopilot. Emma stayed at her job, but the paparazzi hounded her, their headlines relentless. Billionaire bride or pawn. She ignored them, but doubt crept in. Was I manipulating her, or was my love just broken, desperate? She kept my sketch by her bed, a reminder of my heart, but the distance between us grew as I hunted my rival, determined to end the threat. One evening I reappeared at her apartment. No suit, no guards, just me, a worn journal in my hands. My hair was mussed, my eyes tired, stripped of the billionaire's polish. Emma, I said, my voice raw, I'm done hiding. She froze, her eyes wide. Liam, where have you been? Fighting for you, I said, stepping closer. Not with money or power, just me. This is everything I am. I handed her the journal, pages filled with my thoughts of her, drawings from years ago, entries about her laugh, her kindness, moments I'd cherished before I dared approach her. No security, no spotlight. Just me, Emma, all of me for you. She flipped through it, her breath catching at a sketch of her in the rain, another of her asleep in my penthouse. You wrote this before we met, she said, tears falling. You loved me even when I didn't know you existed. I did, I said, my voice breaking. I was a ghost, empty until you. I messed up, planning, controlling. But I just wanted to be enough for you. She set the journal down, stepping into my arms, her voice soft. I'm scared, Liam, of your world, of how much I love you. But I don't want to run anymore. I kissed her, slow and deep, my heart thawing with hers. I'll never stop fighting for us, I whispered. No more secrets. She nodded, her fingers tracing the journal's cover. No more secrets. We stood there, entwined, but my rival's threat lingered. That night, as Emma slept, I found a new message. You can't save her heart. My past wasn't done with me, and Clara's betrayal had armed my enemies with truths I'd buried. I'd given Emma my heart, my journal, my everything, but to keep her, I'd have to face the ghosts head-on, risking my empire, my freedom, maybe my life. As dawn broke, I held her closer, her warmth my anchor, knowing the fight was just beginning, but with her love, I was ready for anything. Emma's warmth in my arms, her tears drying on my chest, felt like salvation. The journal I'd given her, pages of my heart, sketches of her from years before we met, had stripped me bare, and she'd chosen to stay. But as she slept, the threatening text, "You can't save her heart," burned in my mind. My rival, fueled by Clara's betrayal, knew my weaknesses, and Emma was their target. I'd bared my soul, but the ghosts of my past deals and betrayals still hunted us. Holding her close, I vowed to end this, not as a billionaire, but as the man she loved. The next morning, Emma woke with a soft smile, the journal on her nightstand. "Liam," she said, her green eyes steady, "we're not done with your past, are we?" I hesitated, then nodded, my voice low. "Someone's coming for me. Through you. I'm handling it, but I need you to trust me." She touched my face, resolute. "I do. But no more shadows. We face this together." Her strength anchored me, but fear gnawed. Clara's revelations, my loneliness, my abandonment, had softened Emma. But my rival's vendetta was a blade at our throats. I tightened security, tracked leads, but kept Emma close, her presence my only calm. Days later, I found a way to neutralize the threat. I met my rival, Marcus, in a shadowed warehouse, no guards, just us. He'd lost everything when I outmaneuvered him years ago, his company, his pride. "You took my life, Hart," he spat. "Now I'll take hers." "You touch her? You're done," I said, my voice ice. I offered a deal, his silence for a payout, enough to rebuild. He took it, but his eyes burned with hate. I didn't trust him, but it bought time. Clara, too, vanished after a call from me, her anger spent. The danger wasn't gone, but the immediate threat was. Back at my penthouse, Emma sensed the shift. "It's over?" she asked, her voice hopeful. "For now," I said, pulling her close. "But I'm done with half-truths. You deserve everything, Emma, all of me." Her eyes softened. "Then give me that. No more plans, no more control, just you." Her words sparked something. I'd claimed her first kiss, built a fake marriage, but never asked for her forever, not honestly. That night, I planned something new, not with wealth or power, but with truth. I took her to the cafe on Elm Street, where we'd first confronted my kiss, her wariness, our spark. It was late, the place empty, mismatched chairs and the scent of coffee wrapping us in memory. I wore a simple sweater, no billionaire facade, and she was in jeans, her emerald necklace glinting, the only gift she'd kept. I held her hands, my heart racing. "Emma," I said, my voice raw, "I've loved you since that rainy day, years before you knew me. I messed up, planning, hiding, thinking I could control fate. But you taught me love isn't control, it's choice. I'm choosing you, not with a ring, not with cameras, just us." I knelt, no props, just my eyes locked on hers. "Marry me again, for real. No contracts, no media, just my heart, yours forever." Her breath caught, tears shimmering. "Liam, you were my first kiss, my first love. I was scared of your world, your intensity. But you're my home too. Yes, I'll marry you. I stood, pulling her into my arms, kissing her deeply, her lips soft and sure. You're my everything, I whispered, my forehead against hers. She smiled, her voice a vow. And I choose to be your last everything. We planned a ceremony in that same cafe. Small, private, ours. A week later, under soft lights, with only the barista as witness, we stood together. Emma wore a simple cream dress, her hair loose, her eyes brighter than any diamond. I was in a linen shirt, sleeves rolled up, no armor. We wrote our own vows, no crowd, no spectacle. I, Liam, vow to love you with truth, I said, my voice steady, to share every fear, every hope. You're my heart, Emma, my reason. I, Emma, vow to choose you, she said, her voice clear, to be your shelter, your partner. You were my first kiss, and I'm yours. Always. We kissed, not for a crowd, but for the quiet promise of forever. The world outside, paparazzi, rivals, my empire, faded. It was just us, her warmth, her love, sealing a bond forged in pain, trust, and choice. As we left the cafe, hand in hand, I knew my past wasn't fully buried. Marcus's deal might hold, but his hatred lingered, and Clara's silence felt fragile. Secrets, smaller now but still there, might test us. But with Emma's fingers laced in mine, her laughter soft, I was ready. She'd given me her first kiss, and I'd given her my last name, not as a claim, but as a promise. Whatever came, we'd face it together, not as billionaire and bride, but as two souls choosing each other, every day, forever. The cafe's door closed behind us, the night air cool, her smile my light. We stepped into our future, the weight of my past lighter with her beside me. Fade to black, our kiss lingering, a vow unbroken.